Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
It's like an old person's fucking China.
All right,
cabinet.
guys, what's going on?
Podcast. AJ
This is
shooting
our
already.
guys. This is our 3-year anniversary today. As this is being released, we recorded this a day or two ago, but we wanted to release it special on this day because every time this comes around, I'm always amazed. Like, it's been another year. It doesn't feel like it. I mean, this year we did so much. We got out to our first wrestling show as a group. We've had Dave. Who are some of the guests we've had on in the last year that you've been like?
Just recently, Rip Rogers, John Arezzi. We had Al Snow back this year. Oh God, who am I blanking out? The guy that helped. He knew Pillman and trained Shark Boy and everybody. It wasn't Lance Russell.
Oh God, I'm slipping on his name now.
Yeah,
too.
Lance Russell definitely did not teach Shark Boy how to wrestle.
Heartland Wrestling Association. Les Thatcher.
Les Thatcher.
Les Thatcher. Yeah. So a lot of greats. I mean, we hit over 500 subs on YouTube this year.
Les Thatcher, by the way, also known as the man who killed Terry Funk's father.
Really?
I don't know if you're familiar with that story. But they had been wrestling around in the kitchen. Les Thatcher and Dory Funk Sr. had been wrestling around the kitchen, and Dory Funk Sr. went out to take a break and passed away from a heart attack out on the porch.
I don't know if that's killing him.
I did not know that story. See, we're always getting something new on every episode of the podcast. Now, AJ, what have been some of your favorite discussions?
There's so many great discussions that happen through the course of the year. I think my favorite discussions are anytime we actually talk about women's wrestling, because I think that as a world, we don't value it as much as it should be. And there's a lot of people that are still stuck back in the Stone Ages and don't appreciate how far we've come. So it's always good when we talk about that and independent wrestling. I love talking independent wrestling because it's things that we really need to focus on that we don't focus on enough.
Which, by the way, talking about independence, like we did go to AEW, we did go to a Ring of Honor this week, or this year, but also standalone wrestling. We got our first booth and got to hand out some flyers and even sold a shirt to a couple people, maybe one or two, but fun time.
Yeah, we've been lucky to get to some of the Northeast wrestling. We've gotten out to some great shows, and it's always good to see who's up and coming and to have a chance to talk to the fans at those shows, quite frankly, to see what they're into.
Yeah, maybe have our first MMA guest coming up soon, too. Shout out to Mike Calderwell for trying to make that happen.
No, that'd be great.
We got some cross promotion on the way with Cage My IQ. We'll be featuring some of their interviews, giving them a couple of ours to play, just to get our name out more. And speaking of getting our name out, we've had some great fans that have helped us along the way. Jake, Zach St. John, combine those two names into one. We got Mike.
And unlike their mom, we don't play favorites. We like them both equally. We don't just go for Zach.
Yeah, Dan Back like you said, will be helping us out. So he's another one. Randy Osga, he's always a soldier for us. He's always out there in the comments, getting us lists, getting lists from other people. We said
I
Mike
still don't
Caldwell.
understand.
Of course, we have to thank Chevy, our own Chevy, who's been helping, has been with us out here doing the combat cast, but he even shows up for like the wrestling stuff too and helped us with that.
No, Chevy's the
we had
man.
the early beer cast this year. We kind of scaled back on a few things because like when we had free time, we were just loading it up with different podcasts after different podcasts. And now we've kind of gotten back to the basics of things, even back to the 531, which we didn't do for a lot of this year because it just wasn't fresh for us.
Well, sometimes it's tough. Yeah, people don't realize when we say we're the Working Fans Podcast, we really are the Working Fans Podcast. We all work full time. I've got a wife. Dave has 7 children. We all have things in our life that take up time, and that. So,
even though it's not aesthetically pleasing, as producer Joe will tell me, I am working through a cold, allergies. All right, we're gonna put that work in. We're gonna grind, and someday when we got more of a staff, there might even be some more people to fill in for me here and there too. But right now,
yeah, we've been on through. Let's see, COVID. What is it? Pneumonia. Freaking. I've had times where the doctor's like, "Oh, you should be dead," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I have a show to do."
Yeah, for 3 years, we've come out with an episode, I believe, every week. I mean, we might have missed a week here or there, but we've stayed consistent. It's led to more opportunities for us. Me and AJ are also on the More Perfect Union podcast. Dave and I, we've been going on just about a year of New Heights wrestling commentary.
Yep.
I was actually about to
out for BCW Pro as well. So
I was about to plug you guys for that.
Without the people out there.
Yeah.
No, I was about to plug you guys for that because people who may have seen you call wrestling for that promotion we won't talk about beforehand, they're going to see a different level. You guys have really reached new heights, and your chemistry as a team calling the matches has really gone up a notch. I like you guys better than Corey Graves and Michael Cole there. So, hey, keep doing it.
We've worked hard at it, and we don't want to leave out any fan names. I don't think we mentioned Jesse from New Hampshire, our friend Scott. I feel bad because now that we started naming names, I feel like we're leaving somebody out that listens.
Mike Flynn, I don't know if we mentioned Mike Flynn, but Mike Flynn, obviously, usually with Jake and Zach, he'll always contribute, give us lists. Everybody in the Mothership Facebook group who's always coming up big, giving us lists. Anybody who's giving us lists, if we're not remembering you, thank you.
I mock the people that give us lists a lot because I'm an asshole. But without those lists and without them contributing, the show's not what it is. What makes this show great is not just our beautiful faces and our personality. It's the 531 and it's our chemistry when it comes to actually talking over those lists. And so we need those lists. So keep them coming and come up with ideas. Don't just make us come up with ideas. Come up with some ideas.
That's another thing, too. We want to hear from you guys. Who do you want to hear us talk about? For 3 years, we've brainstormed the list. We've gotten some suggestions for lists, but we're putting it out to you as well. Let us know who you want to hear us talk about. And wherever this video is up, leave it in the comments. What matches do you want to hear us talk about? What promotions? What wrestlers? We want to talk. We want to entertain you, but we need some feedback.
The funny thing is the three of us, even though we all watch a tremendous amount of wrestling, we each branch off into a specialty. Like I think I watch probably more women's wrestling and probably a little bit more British wrestling, whereas Joe obviously has his specialties when it comes to some of the Japanese. You follow that much closer than I do, even though I love it. And then, of course, Dave loves midget wrestling. So we all have specialties that really – oh, no, that's just Rey Mysterio. My bad.
Short people. Shout out to all my short people out there. We love you. Nothing but love for you. I
think you have to call them little people, actually. I could be wrong.
All my friends, big, small, tall, we love you all. Come on down to the Working Fans Podcast.
Oh, absolutely. That's absolutely.
All right, well, guys, let's wrap this up. AJ, do you have a parting message for the fans for this next year?
For me, it's just, hey, keep tuning in. We're going to keep trying to evolve. Our base really is that 531, but we evolve around it. We talk about it. We really are just friends talking wrestling. And we love what we do. We love interacting with you as fans. Please keep contributing, keep doing what you're doing, and just keep loving the sport of wrestling.
Amen.
Steve, hit him with a parting message here, man.
Gonna enjoy some wrestling this year, as always. We love to watch wrestling. We love to talk wrestling. You know, when I'm doing my shoot job and I'm delivering, you know, that tasty, tasty bread that y'all love. Shout out to Dan Moff, calling me a hero. Don't forget. At the end of the day, you know, like some of my favorite parts of the day is when I meet other wrestling fans and we can just talk about wrestling and not just the casual stuff. We can talk like in depth, and somebody can mention me something about world class or something like that. Like, always enjoy that stuff. At the end of the day, too, not just next year. I hope to keep talking to you guys for another 3 years, and I can't wait to see where this goes because it's already led to more than I think we all thought it would be with the commentary and some of these great guests. So, hey, let's keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, thank you for listening to us, guys. We wouldn't do it if we didn't hear back from you, and we enjoy doing different things. I've got 31 horror movies for the month of October to get you ready for Halloween. We've got, as always, like our year-end specials, and we said it before, we'll say it again. Thank you very much for listening, and just let us know what you want to hear us talk about, and we will bring that to you every week.